It's a country that's endowed with solid mineral, petroleum, gas, and so on and so forth. So you have made the best decision by coming into Nigeria.
Nigeria is safe for investment. President of the Senate assures investors as Chinese businessmen come calling. Motorists and commuters lament as well as scarcity bites harder and the search for petrol persists.
I left home very early, as early as 4 a.m. I couldn't get fuel until about 12 noon.
And as ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government re-elect President Tinubu as chairman, more encomiums continue to pour in. Hello and welcome to the late evening news on NTA News 24. My name is Frama Panyi. Now, the Nigerian Senate says Nigeria is open to investors, especially in the power, education, construction and other key sectors critical to economic development. The Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, made the assertion during an engagement with a group of Chinese investors, adding that the National Assembly is committed to making legal provisions that will enhance business regulations and operations in Nigeria for mutual benefit.
It's a country that's endowed with solid mineral, petroleum, gas, and so on and so forth. So you have made the best decision by coming into Nigeria. The entire national focus, the number one priority we have now, is that of getting self-sufficiency in energy.
The delegation, comprising representatives of 8 administrative and business entities from Qingdao, China, were at the National Assembly to seek deepen collaboration on long-standing trade and economic cooperation between the two countries. The chairman of the Standing Committee of Qingdao Municipal People's Congress, Wang Luming, spoke through an interpreter.
Cooperation in the vocational education and the talents training. In Qingdao, we have a very famous company which is called Sunmaker Energy. They have invested a lot in African countries, including in Nigeria. And today we also have the Director General of Qingdao Municipal Education Bureau with us. We would like to strengthen the cooperation in education, in vocational education area, and also the techniques and skills training.
The Senate screens FCCPC boss cautions against consumer exploitation, and senators urge Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commissions to protect Nigerians from exploitation by multinational companies, especially satellite service providers. This was at the screening of Olatunji Bello as Chief Executive Officer of the Commission. Ignatius Onko reports.
Olatunji Bello, presidential nominee for the position of Chief Executive Officer and Executive Vice Chairman of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, appearing before the Senate Committee on Trade and Investment for screening.
Now, as you are all aware, the purpose is to screen him so that we are sure that, he's fit for this job. And we have his CV, we have his documents.
Senators demanded to know his plans for the protection of consumers in Nigeria and measures to enhance free trade and competition.
You are against anti-competition, but you are not against free trade. But at times you see them overlap. So I would like to find out what your own opinion is.
About the practices of satellite television service providers. For example, DSTV.
I do not think there is absolute free trade anywhere. So, and we must try as much as possible to ensure there is competition in our economic competition amongst traders. And we also need to protect the interests of Nigerian consumers. To me, first of all, we must protect the national interests.
Senators from Lagos State described the nominee as an accomplished professional and advised him to leverage on the trust the president has in him to strengthen the commission.
He's an accomplished journalist. Then in the area of public administration and public service as well, he has been at the forefront of major developments in Lagos.
The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission monitors and regulates competition, market activities, and to ensure protection of consumers. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
The federal government says it is engaging labor unions in a fair and equitable process capable of sustaining the aspirations of every Nigerian worker. Minister of State for Labor and Employment, Nkiruka Onyejocha, stated this at a one-day retreat on labor reforms and the quest for living wage in Nigeria, organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in Abuja. Muhammad Rabiu completes the story.
Experts say effective labor administration is considered key in promoting sustainable development of any nation. It is in this line the legislature and the executive arms are working to review existing labor laws in Nigeria that will provide a conducive working environment, thereby improving workers' productivity and economic growth.
As we embark on these reforms, we are particularly focused on factories and industrial parks. These areas are critical to our industrial strategy and the well-being of thousands of workers.
These subjects, contentious and divisive as they be, has been and remains one of the most pressing issues facing the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the country at large.
It is imperative that we join forces to ensure that our labor relations system is fair, just, equitable, and equitable. However, let our break workers be rest assured that the National Assembly stands side by side with the Nigerian people.
It is therefore imperative for the legislature to understand the process or processes of the minimum wage and its implication for workers' welfare, economic growth, and the national development of the nation.
We knew that this year's minimum wage is going to be very difficult because negotiating wage increment in an era where you have both fiscal and monetary challenges in your economy.
It is expected at the end of the workshop, participants will have a deeper knowledge on the process of minimum wage enactment and the need for due diligence to ensure workers' productivity and economic growth. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, congratulates President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on his re-election as the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. And Speaker Abbas says President Tinubu's re-election as ECOWAS chairman is a testament of his commitment to the growth and development of the sub-region, as well as an affirmation of confidence in him among member states. The Speaker notes that in the past 1 year, the President has demonstrated good leadership in uniting members of ECOWAS, especially when leadership instability characterized some member states. Speaker Abbas wishes President Tinubu another successful tenure as the chairman of ECOWAS. ECOWAS Youth Organization says the re-election of President Tinubu as chairman of Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is a confirmation of his sterling leadership of the sub-region. In a statement, the founder of the President General of the organization, Celestine Ekwe, notes that they are proud of the dogged fight President Tinubu put up when democracy became endangered in the sub-region and forces of despotism were sweeping across Africa. And that it is gratifying that few hours after his re-election, he swung into action by appointing the President of Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, as a special envoy to Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger Republic, among other appointments. The organization urges President to work towards full restoration of democracy in the sub-region as he has already promised. Now, Nigeria needs to prioritize timely, inclusive data to track progress towards national and global targets, especially the 2030 SDGs, and formulate policies that address the diverse needs of the country's population. This is the verdict of experts in population management at an engagement with the media to begin activities commemorating 2024 World Population Day. Lucia Adiabo has details.
There is no gainsaying the influence of data in today's global village. This explains the World Population Day 2024 theme, embracing the power of inclusive data towards a resilient and equitable future for all, which aims on the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, which promises to leave no one behind. It's a theme that resonates in Nigeria, and for these experts, while inclusive data is the cornerstone of informed decision-making and policy development, Nigeria needs to yield to the global call for action for reliable, timely, and culturally relevant data.
New and innovation data generation and analysis tools have the potential to reveal previously hidden issues and offer a comprehensive view of population experiences.
The National Population Commission says it is working on producing an evidence-based data for measuring and predicting likely demographic shifts with an actual digital census in progress.
Nigeria should champion data collection that counts people in their diversity and in all their complexities. Our data collection processes and exercise, particularly for upcoming population and housing census, will be inclusive, compliant, and leaving no one behind.
Nigeria's projected population to reach close to 400 million by the year 2050. Inclusive data allow us to proactively plan for future infrastructure needs, healthcare services, and job creation in a changing demographic landscape.
Part of resolutions there is for all key players in population management to harness the power of inclusive data to build resilient systems and societies. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adiagbo, NTA News.
And this is the late evening news at 11 on NTA News24. More reports in a moment. Welcome back. And motorists in Abuja are lamenting the longer productive hours spent in patrol queues in search of petrol. Correspondent Lydia Samson reports that a visit to most petrol stations in Abuja indicates most petrol stations are still battling queues, with motorists lamenting, according to some of them, what began suddenly last week is not abating.
Very early, as early as 4 a.m. I couldn't get fuel until about 12 noon. That was yesterday.
Nothing has improved, because when he started, there are more filling stations selling fuel. But the way he's looking at, almost all the filling stations that were selling on Friday and Saturday, most of them are out of fuel.
They said it is frustrating that they have to queue for over 3 hours before they can buy petrol, while some stations have even shut down.
There is no improvement. There is no any official statement from the government or NNPC what is happening.
I don't know the cause. I was even asking the fuel attendants. He said he does not even know as well. So I was even asking him, is he panic buying or what? He said he doesn't know. So I really don't even have an idea.
They are appealing for the government and stakeholders' intervention towards restoring normalcy. Now, in furtherance of its assurance to work with stakeholders for speedy restoration of supply of petroleum products in Abuja and other parts of the country, top management of NNPC Limited and the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority have inspected petrol stations in Abuja experiencing petrol queues. During the on-the-spot assessment, they urged motorists to avoid panic buying as the queues will soon fizzle out. Lydia Sampson reports.
Logistics play a crucial role in the petroleum supply chains in Nigeria. It ensures efficient and safe transportation of petroleum products from onshore oil refineries to storage facilities and ultimately to motorists and other consumers at petrol stations. Key players at the petrol stations say they are proactively seeking solutions to these logistic issues.
This is a volatile liquid, and when there are thunderstorms, we have to suspend ship-to-shore movements. And it also affected the loading of trucks at the depots. So we had to suspend all of that during the thunderstorms for safety reasons. And that's why you see this tightness. What we've done, however, is to ensure that we're loading out all through the weekends, and we are mobilizing trucks.
What we can assure Nigerians is that they should go about their business and purchase the volume that they need. There should be no panic. There is no intention or any anticipated increase in price, and so that's the authority, and the NNPCL will continue to collaborate together to ensure that there is energy security.
They urge petrol stations to ensure they dispense all the verified products in their storage and extend beyond their usual closing time to help ease up the queues. Motorists are optimistic that the delegation visit will help mitigate sharp practices of motorists jumping the queues and creating chaos. Both the officials and motorists are on the same page, keeping their fingers crossed for the return of normalcy in the petroleum downstream. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, is advising Nigerian youth to pursue excellence with an unyielding spirit that will safeguard the future of the country. Gbajabiamila was speaking at a town hall meeting and inauguration of the third fellowship cohort of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The Leadership Mentorship Initiative is a program initiated by the Chief of Staff to the President, Gbajabiamila, during his speakership position at the House of Representatives. The objective is to mentor young Nigerians in legislative and other endeavors. Youth from across the country are grouped into cohorts and exposing them to theoretical and practical leadership skills.
We remain committed to standing firmly behind you, nurturing your growth and celebrating your successes. I salute you all. You are indeed the future of this country. And from all I have heard, that future is very bright.
I urge you to continue to remain steadfast in our pursuit of excellence and our commitment to building a brighter, more inclusive future for this country, Nigeria.
Fellows of the program contributed and asked questions to get better insights into the program. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has inaugurated a mobile police base built by Hypertech in Kakuruk, Gashish district of Barkin-Ladi local government area of Plateau State. He restated federal government's commitment to enhancing the operational efficiency of the police force. Ijoma Ozomena has more.
The establishment of a mobile police base in Kakruk by Hypertech follows rampant communal crisis and insecurity in the community. For Hypertech, the remodeling of the police base has become necessary to enhance security and improve the quality of life of police officers.
Our mission to remodel and reconstruct the police barracks in Kakuru was born out of a genuine concern for the well-being and operational efficiency of our dedicated police officers serving in this region.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, represented, was full of gratitude to the Commission for carrying out quality job and restates the commitment of government to ensuring adequate protection of lives and property of citizens.
With these newly established facilities, our police officers will be better equipped to uphold the law and order and foster a conducive environment for the residents of Karukuk to live.
Governor Caleb Mutfan, represented in a message to the event, lauded Hyperdeck for the initiative, saying that gesture will go a long way to complement the efforts of the state government in peace building.
The security forces here to return peace to the community, we also have to start making concerted efforts at returning the people that have been displaced to their ancestral homes.
We shall work with the Inspector General of Police and the Police Service Commission to ensure that the personnel posted here are given all the conducive environment and the welfare to perform their duties.
The sum of 469 million naira was expended on the project. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
And companies found to have compromised on safety standards in the iron and steel manufacturing sector will face the full wrath of the law upon completion of investigations by the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, into alleged sharp practices into the manufacturing of steel products in the country. Now, this is to address incessant building collapse in the country, as a team from the Commission carried out surveillance operations at 3 various steel companies along with industrial layout in Ogun State. Amaka Owo reports.
Media reports show that Nigeria recorded the highest incident of building collapse in Africa in 2023. Tackling these menace headlong remains the priority of the federal government. This has necessitated operatives of the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission to swing into action. This time, they have beamed searchlight into activities of steel manufacturing industries in Nigeria.
We've got intelligence and surveillance reports that the companies in question are involved in some anti-competitive behavior, and that is the reason why we decided to come to 3 out of the many companies that are here in Lagos, so that we can take a sample and see what it is that they do by going through the records that we get from them, as well as look at the end products that come out of their systems here. You see, what is happening is there is false, misleading and deceptive, as well as unfair market practices. You'd go into the market to buy an iron rod of 12 mm, for instance. When they produce, what you get is 10, not 12. And this is what is the main reason that leads to all these building collapses that we have in the country.
The Commission says the investigations are ongoing and will involve the contributions of forensic experts, as Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission is saddled with a mandate to protect the consuming population. The Commission remains resolute in enforcement of safety in the steel manufacturing industry. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
And talking security now, Ekiti State Police Command has launched a manhunt for suspected armed robbers who killed a woman for refusing to surrender her bag in Ado-Ekiti. Police Public Relations Officer Sunday Abutu, who confirmed the incident which occurred along NTA Road Ado-Ekiti, said 42,280 naira was found in the bag of the deceased, who is yet to be identified. Abutu says her body has been deposited in a morgue and an investigation is ongoing. This is the late evening news at 11 on NTA News24. Now, before we go, here is a quick look at our major stories.
It's a country that's endowed with solid mineral, petroleum, gas, and so on and so forth. So you have made the best decision by coming into Nigeria.
Nigeria is safe for investment. President of the Senate assures investors as Chinese businessmen come calling. And And motorists and commuters lament as fuel scarcity bites harder and the search for petrol persists.
I left home very early, as early as 4 a.m. I couldn't get fuel until about 12 noon.
As ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government re-elects President Tinubu as chairman, more encomiums continue to pour in.
This is NTA News24.
And that concludes the late evening news at 11 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. My name is Frama Panyi. Have a good night.